What's up guys, DuArktik here with another Marvel Strike Force video. This is a video that I wanted to do for a while. We had a strike spot with Ryan Jacobson and with Pathfinder, and they talked about the state of MSF, what's going to be the future and so on. And I found 50 how many? 51 very interesting topics that are to consider in regards to Marvel Strike Force. And a lot of these things were very interesting, including some future teams that we had never had in the past. Some teams from the future that could be coming in the future. So I think that's some interesting stuff to take a look at. And I really wish these teams to arrive, because it's really gonna set the stage for whatever comes next, right? We also have the mention of a few features that are a little bit concerning, in my opinion, but I hope you guys let me know in the comments below if you agree or disagree with each of these topics. Once again, we have over 50 points that I mentioned in this live stream, and a lot of them I have not seen anyone talking about it on Marvel Strike Force videos, and it made me curious what you guys are thinking with the future of the game. This is a moment where Marvel Mystic Mayhem releases another big patch where they increase the level cap again, and is also making me wonder where they are going with that game as well, with Marvel Mystic Mayhem. If they're gonna keep raising the level cap like it happens in Marvel Strike Force, or if it gets to level 100 or level 99 and then they stop. So that's something we are going to be on the lookout as well. Okay, so in this video we are going to take a look at all these topics that Pathfinder talked with Ryan Jacobson, which is the general manager of Marvel Strike Force, and give my own opinion about this and what's going on. And you guys let me know in the comments below what you think about all of these topics as well. So as always, if you like the information on these videos, make sure to share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe for more Marvel Strike Force content, and make sure to smash that like button like a boss. Now, before we start, I have just to make a quick mention. This is the last day where you can obtain the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in Raid Shadow Legends for free. If you want to get Michelangelo for free, absolutely for free, you can still get it, but this is the last day. You have like 6 more hours or so, and then it's gone. So even if you want to just create an account and then hold it for another time where you have time to play the game, check out my QR code, maybe this one. I don't get anything from this, but you guys will get a great starter. You're gonna get 3 legendaries right away, including Karato Foxhunter, which is a legendary samurai champion. Then you have Uugo, which is an epic reviver, can revive your entire team, decrease the defense of your enemies. And then you get this support character, Mausoleum Mage, that increases your defense, your crit chance, heals your entire team, and clears your negative effects away. After that, you can use one of these promo codes right now on the screen for one additional champion. MONKEYKING for Wukong, Desert Queen for DuArktik. Wukong is good for Arena, Desert Queen is good for Raids. This guy, Trihugger Rurak, is not good anywhere, so big yikes. And then we have Alice. She's a hybrid character for dungeons and for PvP as well. You have to use these codes within the first 48 hours, and there is one additional code that I'm going to tell you after this. And finally, for 7 days, log in for 7 days, and you're going to be able to get Michelangelo. Again, this is for just the next 6 hours or so. After that, this opportunity will be absolutely gone forever. So there you go. Use this promo code right now on the screen to get all of these rewards and get started in Raid. Again, it's a great game, and you should definitely check it out just for experiencing yourself. Now, one additional promo code that I mentioned is Demon Slayer. So if you don't want MONKEYKING or Desert Queen, you can use the code Demon Slayer to get a very strong champion for raids, for dungeons, PvP, and so on. It's my favorite, Demon Slayer. MONKEYKING and Desert Queen, they're also good. It's up to your preferences. Okay, with that out of the way, again, this is the last chance of getting Michelangelo for free and having the chance of collecting all 4 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Let's get started with this list. Once again, 50 topics. Let me know in the comments below what you think about these. So first point that I mentioned is the Chapter 2 and the Blast Stars, Yellow Stars, and Red Stars distribution. They said that they are a little bit disappointed by the amount of yellow stars and red stars that people have, and they are not sure based on their numbers if this is based on the lack of participation on the events or if it's just because people are tuning out of the game. And it seems like it's the case, especially for the web version. It seems like a lot of people are not participating, because yesterday I was trying to do RTA and it was impossible to find anyone. So or they are splitting servers or something like that, which is making a little bit problematic, or it's just a player base that is less active than they expected based on previous numbers. So that's the first topic. They are trying to increase the amount of yellow stars and red stars you are going to get for Blastar based on these new numbers. They talk about, on the second topic, 8 rooms for Cosmic Crucible, and they said that they don't have this goal yet. They are putting that into consideration, but they have to change the format of Cosmic Crucible. So instead of being this leaderboard that we have right now, it's going to be based on leagues. And these leagues will, of course, split everyone into different groups. And based on those leagues, you can get more or less rooms. This is what you have in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. And this is what they have been asking for like 3 years for Cosmic Crucible. So it's good that they are finally taking this into consideration, which I think it's a great idea. Ward changes. You can expect the ward changes in Q1 or Q2 of next year. No clue what we are doing, asking different people of what they think of certain ideas. So they have been talking about these ward changes for a very, very long time. And the fact that they mention Q1 or Q2, that's very, very late in 2026. So they literally have no idea how to spice up war, how to make war interesting, and that's very concerning. So yeah, we'll see. You guys let me know how excited are you for war changes, and now what are your thoughts about Alliance Wars right now? Is it all about the rewards, or is it a problem with the gameplay? For me, it was always a problem with the gameplay. It's just playing like Blitz. So yeah, you guys let me know. Point 4, we have open up traits for the Apocalypse unlock. This is nice, but I mean, it's something that mostly affects new players. And this is a problem with the design of Marvel Strike Force. Comparing Marvel Strike Force with Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes or Raid Shadow Legends, the legendary characters, they lose value a lot slower, very, very slow. You can have a character that was released 6 years ago in Raid Shadow Legends, and it's still meta today because of that. In Marvel Strike Force, it's not the case. Every year or every year and a half, the characters that you are using are refreshed, and because of that, you always have to open new tags for the old events. But the problem is not that. The problem is that you just have to make old characters relevant once again, rather than forcing us to have new teams over and over again, and everything else going down the drain. So I'm not sure how long it's going to take for them to realize this. It already passed 7 years. Maybe it's going to take another 7. But yeah, they have just not been on a good path, but they don't want to learn from that. Or they just want to force people to invest on new characters because they have no other way of monetizing the game, which once again shows another flaw in Marvel Strike Force, which is the lack of diversity in terms of monetization. And this is even something that the whales, even the whales and the krakens, they want more places where to spend their money. It's absolutely insane that this happens in this game, but there you go. Okay, moving on to the next topic, we have plans for more shop credits, big changes, nothing in specific. So this is in regards to the stores. They made a huge update to the stores, which I really, really appreciate. This is what I was waiting for. Is just to reduce the amount of stores we had, because we had way too many. Like when you need outside tabs to manage your stuff, it was just way too much. And now we have like 7 or 8, so that's good enough. That's good enough, right? Now, in terms of the chapter currency, we are getting a decent amount. I don't even play that much, and I have like millions to spend. But at the same time, if you want to be competitive, free to play or anything like that, you are still struggling with gold, we are still struggling with training materials, and you still have to make decisions daily if you're going to invest on character shards or if you're investing on your gear tier 20s, plus your golden training materials with your shop currency. So this is definitely something that in terms of economy, it's not great yet. And people told me even yesterday that they are sitting on 40,000 energy with nothing where to spend. And once again, this is something that in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes or in Raid Shadow Legends, it does not happen. In those other games, you have to spend your energy daily because it's just worth it. So if they would increase the amount of gold orbs that you get from the campaigns and so on, this would alleviate the problem. But for some reason, they don't want to do it. You guys let me know why you think that's the case. Let's move on for the next topic. We have a balance between war defense and war offense, trying to find a balance. And this is because they released many teams that were like offensive based last year, and now they want a defensive based. I'm not sure what's the problem at the end of the day, because now it no longer matters. Now because of overpowered, it does not even matter if you have some strong defensive team or not, unless you make more teams like Heroes for Hire. Because now it's enough for you to have one character with overpowered and you are going to absolutely obliterate the enemy team. And because of that, it's like irrelevant, right? As soon as you introduce stuff in a game like overpowered, it's pretty much irrelevant, and I think that's the case right now. And that's why they will never find this balance, because with this mechanic, they made all the defensive teams irrelevant unless you have to build up the entire team, right? Because as soon as you lose one piece of the defensive team, the team is gone. So there you go. Point number 7, content variety from chapter 1 that had none. You had to repeat that dungeon, that dark dimension or whatever it is. You had to repeat it over 1 month. On chapter 2, you had a little bit more diversity. Now you have the danger rooms as well. You have the invasions of the Blastar and so on. So not as bad, but on chapter 3, with especially with Blue Marvel being introduced into the game, plus the new battle world, which not everyone is super excited about it, we have a little bit more diversity in regards to the content. And big upcoming stuff, but what was said was mostly hot air, if you know what I mean. So it was still a little bit disappointing. Point number 8, we have removing Crucible rankings for less social stress, bad matchmaking confirmed. So yeah, this is what some people have a problem with Cosmic Crucible. Of course, not everyone agrees with this. This is for the special snowflakes that play Marvel Strike Force. Is that whenever you see the rating, for example, my rank right now, rank 80, because I have not been playing for like 6 months of Cosmic Crucible, because as soon as they introduced it overpowered, they made the game completely irrelevant. And this is why War sucks, this is why Cosmic Crucible sucks, because the rooms are irrelevant, the teams are irrelevant, and it's all based on overpowered. So no point in playing Cosmic Crucible anymore, and that's why we are at rank 80. But it's true that some people feel bothered with showing their ranking, and at the same time, you can have some advantage or disadvantage in making the person more stressed if they see that they are facing a very high ranking player. And this is also because of the matchmaking system. There is some matchmaking algorithm in the background that really messes up the people you are facing and gives very unfair matches. And this was something that we talked about in the past, that you had people on top 100 that they were not even playing the game for months and months, and then they had to manually fix it. Yeah, so there are some people definitely being privileged in Cosmic Crucible, and they are still not fixing this, but hopefully we'll have some new information in regards to the matchmaking in the future. Let's move on to the next topic, which is season rewards for Raid, Alliance Wars, updates and future adjustments. So this has been pretty terrible in regards to the rewards. You are getting Dark Diamonds, okay, they are pretty much irrelevant nowadays. 600,000 gold for 1 month and a half or 1 month now, again irrelevant stuff. Then you have the raid milestones. What is this, bro? This is so lazy. They should have updated these like 6 months ago. It's not, or like 1 year ago. The fact that they still not update the raid season rewards, the war season rewards, the Cosmic Crucible season rewards for such a long time, while the meta develops with more ISO 8, more gold, more training materials, more gear, and so on, and you always need the one behind, right? You always need the one behind. It's really terrible, and it's a lack of foresight or a lack of interest in fixing the basic things on the game that are important. Even these, like, it might not feel important for most people, but it's important for a lot of people, and all of these rewards are absolutely irrelevant for everyone. So I'm not sure what they are waiting for, but it's definitely something that they should have fixed last year, not next year. But anyway, let's move on to the next topic. We have point number 10. How to acquire Null post Battle World 1 single player experience, no time frame. So they wanted to update Battle World so you can have your own experience based on the Null fight. Is it gonna be like one of the epic campaigns? That would be very cool if that would be the case. But they don't know yet. They are still not decided. They probably still have to develop that option where you go to Battle World and then you select the other world. And this will be nice if it's something that you can do at any time, right? That does not interfere with your own progress. Even if you already beat Null, even if you already have Null maxed out, I'm from the opinion that if you want to try old content, you should be able to. Even that's not what Scopely Boundless believe in. So that's a big shame, but we'll see what changes they are going to do in the near future in regards to that. But there is no time frame on when this is going to be updated. So maybe 2026, maybe even 2027. Big yikes. Point 11, bugs on CC rooms, trying to get ahead and want no cookie cutter rooms, aka no testing. So this is the usual. It's the problems with the rooms. They are irrelevant. Then not only they are irrelevant, but they are not even tested properly. Most of the rooms don't have impactful mechanics that will affect which teams you are using or not. And even if it does, it's based on cookie cutter teams rather than generic tags, like for example skill characters or tech characters or bio characters or global characters or city characters. We need that type of diversity in those more global rules and more generic terms and conditions, because otherwise you will have this very cookie cutter experience that does not affect the meta, does not create new teams or new variations, and keep people having the same experience over and over again, especially when they recycle rooms. You can recycle rooms, but if you're not recycling the tags properly, it's pointless. But there you go. In terms of the rooms, we already know that they have not been tested. We'll see what happens. Again, we'll see. 2026, maybe 2027, we'll see. New consolidated store in November. So this is what they delivered this week, which once again, it's absolutely awesome. This is what I expected when they said that we were going to have the store updated. So that's cool. And that's what we have. I think it's a better experience overall. And it's not super convoluted. It's good enough. I think it's good enough. You guys let me know in the comments below if you agree or disagree. But I think it's good enough. What they can do maybe on the characters is just clear away the characters that you already have. But sometimes it's nice. Sometimes it's nice having the chance to buy. Oh, you can't even. So yeah, so in the past it was nice to buy just to get some Ultimus orbs. But I guess they took those orbs away. So, I mean, it's better. What to expect? I guess this is what we were expecting. It can't get any further than this, so we'll see. Okay, let's move on to the next topic. We have Zombie Scarlet Witch availability soon. So this is a problem with the new free-to-play experience, which is terrible, right? It seems like now all the characters will be farmable just 6 months after, unless you want to spend the store currency, the new age currency or whatever. If that's not the case, then you have to wait for a very long time, and that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing. People that usually would get their free-to-play characters maxed out within 6 months, now they'll become free-to-play within 6 months, and that's terrible. And for Scarlet Witch specifically, it's taking a very, very long time. Of course, she's an epic character. Of course, she's an ultra premium character. But even so, the fact that I've been playing for a very long time and I still only have her at 5 stars, it's a big deal, right? I think it's a big deal. Even the other characters, it was a pain to obtain them. And whenever you buy them, they really cut the value. For example, you can buy Kestrel right now, but you are paying 2 times more than normal characters. But at the same time, you have the normal events that will reward you the same value. So you're just throwing money away to get the character just a few days early, which is terrible. And yeah, they mentioned no viability in regards to these updates. So we have to wait and see. She's coming. We just don't know exactly when. Maybe 1 month after Kestrel is around or so. Or maybe next year when they release the new Magneto. That is also an epic character. Web playable soft launch on the web. This is already available, so they already delivered on this one. Login streaks and future revamp. So the login streaks right now are a huge problem, and I've been experiencing this for a while because the login streaks require you to play RTA, which is not this one. It's this one right here, and RTA does not work. Many times I try to find a match and it's not possible to find a match because, again, like I mentioned before, the server for the web and the server for the normal game on Android or iPhone, it seems like it's on different places. There is no cross-platform, and because of that, I cannot find matches many times, and I cannot get my login streak. It's terrible. I'm not sure what they are thinking, but yeah, you are not able to complete the last mission, this one that gives you the power cores, because of that. So they definitely have to revamp it, and I think it's a stupid system. I understand that they want you to log in as often as possible, but you really don't get any benefit. If you get like a massive benefit, like for example in Raid, you get tons of rewards when you log in daily. If you don't log in, you are not penalized. While in Marvel Strike Force, you are being penalized for having a life. It's crazy. But hopefully the revamp will be good, and it will be not like this, like you are being forced into something. Absolutely. Or you log in every day, or you are going to the concentration camp. This is literally how it feels when you fail the daily login. So we'll see what the revamp is going to be. Next topic, we have topic 16, all the legendary reworks. Morgan Le Fay, Magneto, Red Hulk, and so on. Some reworks next year, high affinity tunes coming back, Iron Man, Hulk, Spider-Man, costumes giving stats as future way to upgrade your tunes. This is something that might be extremely controversial because yes, we have costumes in the game, the costumes never did anything, but now they wanted the costumes to give stats. This is what they do on Marvel Future Fight, and the game has been like this for a very long time, and now introducing it to Marvel Strike Force is just a way to fix the release of moments, right? They had this new feature, moments. It was an absolute failure, and now they wanted the skins to give stats. But the problem is that we already have skins in the game. So are they going to remove the skins from us and give us new skins? Are they going to do like Marvel Mystic Mayhem is doing the same thing? Skins that give stats. Again, it's not a huge problem for those other games because they were built based on that. Marvel Strike Force, it's not the case. So are we going to be able to upgrade the skins? Or is just something that you buy and it's going to be like overpowered? You buy and you win. I don't know. Is it Marvel Strike Force going to be more pay to win than it is already? I'm not sure. That's scary. And in regards of the other legendary characters, the old legendary characters, the high affinity characters like Hulk, Spider-Man and Iron Man, we have been saying this for the longest time. You always need to have at least 10 of those high affinity characters to be relevant each year. Spider-Man, Magneto, Hulk, Iron Man and so on, they should always be somewhat part of the meta, or they should have a rework cycle much more frequent than we have already, because otherwise people will lose interest for the game. We have all these new characters coming. I have no effing idea who the hell is Hellcat. I have no effing idea who the hell is Living Mummy. And if you are forcing me to play with characters that I have no affinity for, then the game loses interest for me. For example, Phantom Rider playing with Quake and Domino and whatever. I know who Domino is, but who the hell is Negasonic, Quake and Yo-Yo? This might be relevant for people that are like 20 years old or so, but most of Marvel existed for people 30, 40 and above. So most people have low affinity towards these new characters. So again, they need to keep relevant these high affinity characters as often as possible. And again, making sure that they are getting reworks way more often than other characters. Otherwise, people lose interest. Even if the characters don't have the most insane kit ever, they still need to be part of the meta somehow. So that's something that they definitely have to be on the lookout. Topic number 17, we have legendaries, eras, teams. Should be legendaries be a team or have their own teams? I think they should have their own teams. I think this Blastar, for example, now we have Blastar being a combination with Thunderstrike and Nova. It makes absolutely no sense. Okay, maybe because Annihilus is like mind controlling them or whatever, but like with Apocalypse, that made sense. We already know about that. With this guy, with Blastar and Nova and Thunderstrike being put together, as far as I know from Thunderstrike, it makes absolutely no sense. But maybe it does. Maybe there is some book where it's this reference, but it's something that okay, for me it makes no sense. Even with Apocalypse, they have their own teams and then they have a team together. This time, no, they don't have their own teams. They are individual legendary characters and then they create a team. I think that was terrible. I think that was absolutely terrible. We didn't see that with Mephisto. We didn't see that with Odin and so on. And it was much, much better with Apocalypse. Legendaries having their own teams. And yeah, sure, after they can create a team with their era character. But this new way with Annihilus, I don't like it, feels terrible, and feels like it makes no sense. You guys let me know in the comments below if you agree or disagree, but this has been a mistake for sure. Battle World updates, the fight, both Null and Sentry at some point, so we already talked about this. I think one big problem with Battle World is the damage caps, and they have to create a system where the damage cap is balanced. For example, the bleed strategy, that was fun. Having these different strategies makes sense. And a lot of people are saying that the teams that supposedly are supposed to be good in Battle World, they are not even that good. And yeah, that's a problem, right? That's definitely a problem that they have to be on the lookout. Because if they make these specific teams for specific game modes, if it makes no sense, well, then what's the point? Okay, Legendary Diamonds, plan to deliver, seasonal shops, missing the window of relevancy. This is what Scopely wants. They say that you get everything for free, but you get for free when it's no longer relevant. If it's gonna take 2 years after you unlock Mephisto or Odin to get the diamonds for those characters, they absolutely lost their relevancy. They no longer have the stats that matter to the meta, and because of that, well, what's the point, right? So Scopely Boundless have to create a system where you can progress towards these goals slowly, right? Maybe make some big milestone for like 6 months milestone or so, where you can progress daily by participating in raids and so on, and getting the diamonds unlocked that way. For example, every 6 months you get, or every 3 months or 4 months, you get the first diamond for Mephisto, then you get the second diamond, and after 3 months, and after 2 more months, you get the last diamond. So it takes 9 months to unlock it, but you get the first at 4 months, then at 3 months, and then at 2 months. I think this would make still relevancy. You can see my Odin has no diamonds, but at the same time, like, I'm not gonna pay for them. I understand this is a way for monetizing the rewards, but if it takes 2 years to get the diamonds for those specific characters, or if it requires $500 on a specific leaderboard, then the game becomes unplayable, and it's the whale fest it has been for a very long time, which once again, they can monetize for the whales and at the same time leave a path you can participate in for everyone else. Let's move on to the next topic, buying offers for your alliance friends and alliance rewards based on purchases. This is something interesting. you can do this in other games. You can give rewards to other people as well. People already do this, for example, gifted subs on Twitch, stuff like that. I'm not sure, it's something that is interesting, but it becomes a little bit too personal in my opinion, that people have to buy stuff for their alliance. I'm not sure, it's weird for me, but I'm from Europe, maybe it makes more sense for people on the East, or maybe people in the United States or so. You guys let me know about what you think about this, buying stuff for your own alliance. You guys let me know. For me it's weird, but maybe not for you. Let me know. Let's move on to the next topic. Leaderboard fatigue. The word fatigue nowadays is very popular, but leaderboard fatigue is something that we have experiencing in Marvel Strike Force for a very long time. Trying to figure out the right amount of leaderboards per month, trying to avoid back-to-back leaderboards. I mean, the problem with leaderboards is that if you are forced to play them over and over again based on specific events, and of course, if all the rewards are tied to leaderboards, the people at the top will gain everything and the people at the bottom will gain nothing. And because of that, you should create pauses between the leaderboards. So instead of maybe 10 leaderboards per month, you should have like 3 or 2, I don't know. I don't know what's the right number, of course, but this is the main way they monetize the game. So I'm not surprised that they want leaderboards all the time, because they make a ton of money, but at the same time is the leaderboard FOMO and the leaderboard fatigue that no one wants to participate. You get to a point that, oh, okay, whatever, I get to rank 10,000, who cares? Even that the rewards don't really matter if you are between like 10,000 and 50,000. But if you go a little bit above that, 10,000 to 5,000, then the rewards are absolutely insane, right? So there is also that discrepancy in rewards. Even that I understand that they want to monetize as much as possible the top 500 or 1,000 rewards. That makes absolute sense in a business perspective. But again, it creates this leaderboard fatigue for everyone else. Let's move on to the next topic. We are at topic 20, Awaken abilities and distribution. How long it takes, and exclusivity. So once again, this is another point of monetization of the abilities. They want to monetize them as much as possible, but this creates also a massive problem where you have to distribute them at some point, or you just have to say, no, we are not going to distribute them. Because in other games, this is not the case. You can make the choice of unlocking them, but then you have to create generic upgrades. Instead of having specific awaken abilities for Blade, you could create epic awaken abilities, legendary awaken abilities, mythical awaken abilities, and rare awaken abilities for normal characters. And based on that, you give whatever amount to the community, and then they have to decide, am I going for Blade, am I going for Mephisto, am I going for Odin, or whatever. You have to create that economy and then give it to the players. So you can monetize it at the same time and then give in the hand of the players for them to choose which ones they want. Because this creates this problem. If you don't do that, you create this problem. When are you going to give this stuff away? Oh, in 2 years, when it's no longer relevant. So there you go. That's your answer. But again, this was a problem that Marvel Strike Force created to themselves, creating this awaken ability system that is not generic, and it's rather specific for every character. So every time you have to create a new way to deliver these awakened abilities if you really want everyone to have them, rather than creating a system where it's based on the player activity and their own interest to develop this character or that character and so on. Let's move on to the next topic. We have quality of life improvements on different things. This is like whatever. I think they have been okay with the quality of life's improvement. Overall, the game is at good state in that regard. It's just the gameplay. The only problem is actually the gameplay and not having much to do. But again, I think one of the biggest problems with quality of life is really the login streak, which is terrible, absolutely terrible. That you get so punished for not having this properly, and you don't get any benefit of having it anyway. So that's the problem. Moving on, we have achievements and future plans for achievements. Good for new players, but no future plans. So this achievements tab This is still decent for new players, you get a decent amount of gold, power cores and so on, but they said they have no interest in updating these going forward, so don't expect anything crazy. Maybe these frames, but they are giving frames everywhere anyway, so maybe even that will not be relevant in the future. We'll see. It is what it is. Point number 25. We have plans to rework water boosts. Is this something that will be relevant in the future? We don't know. They don't mention anything. They don't have any plans for these. The thing is that other games, they have datacrons, they have traps. Datacrons for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, traps for Raid Shadow Legends. So instead of having these boosts that only give deflects, you actually have mechanics that you can choose what they do and change the experience for the other player. Of course, this is going to increase the level of complexity of the game, but unless you want Marvel Strike Force to be a game for babies, this is a good thing rather than a bad thing. So it's definitely something that they are not planning to do, to rework the boosts in water and create a trap system or a datacron system, but it's definitely something that they should have into consideration. Point number 26. Slow down on the mandatory teams trying to balance theory crafting in all game modes and making it too wild. The problem is not exactly the theory crafting, it's the lack of rules. I mentioned this in the past, you could have limitations on how many legendary characters you can have on certain teams or mythical characters, and this could be based on the rooms. You can create rooms that if you have more than 2 legendary characters, they lose all stats. You could make some forceful rules that would allow you to expand your creativity in regards of other teams and being less reliable on just using legendary characters and so on. Of course, you want always some level of theory crafting, but at the same time, you want the mandatory teams that they create. They create these mandatory teams to be relevant, right? But instead of being a 1-year cycle of mandatory teams, it could be a 2-year cycle. Why not? Why you don't create other ways of monetizing the game than just releasing new characters? Because it will get to a point where you have so many characters and none of them are really relevant. We are on our 3rd Iron Fist, and this is where the game is going, to get 5 different versions of Spider-Man, 10 different versions of Iron Fist, and it's not even that popular character. Like, if it was 5 different versions of Magneto, maybe, but at the same time, then why we have skins? But I'm not sure if I really like what they are doing with these forced teams and how low value they have, right? Because after 1 year, maybe 1 year and a half, they will no longer be relevant, but even so, it's just such a fast-paced change of characters that it really compromises what you can experience. So the variety should be more on the game modes rather than on the characters that we are using, and slow down on expiring characters, because maybe we go back to that old point. The high affinity characters, people want to play with them as often as they can rather than having this full recycle of everything all the time. But there you go. Okay, Undying after the 5th release, no more Undying characters, something different in the future. So they say that this new Kestrel will be the last character of the Undying team, and there will be a new zombie team or something different. Maybe finally we're gonna get a Werewolf by Night in the game, and that's the plan going forward. So you can expect the same for the Phoenix Force team. As soon as they release the last character, it will be the end of that project and they move on for something different. So yeah, maybe we'll get more zombies in the future, but they will not be related with these zombies, at least as far as we can understand from this topic. Crossover with other Marvel games, something coming like that. So for example, we had collabs in the past with Midnight Suns for Magic, she had a skin and so on. Now we have this character, Sword Master, that several people told me that he was also on Marvel Rivals, and that is also from some Capcom versus Marvel game. And he's a stolen character from some other place, but now he's part of Marvel. So there you go. They'll do more stuff like this in the future, but don't expect it to happen that often, even that they have this interest. Then we have point number 29, bring back the fun after 7 years, nothing going on, trying to figure out what they want from each game modes and if they should focus on repainting or creating new game modes. This is a big problem. If after 7 years you still don't know what you want from Alliance Wars, you still don't know what you want from Cosmic Crucible, you still don't know what you want from Blitz, this is very, very concerning. This shows once again that Marvel Strike Force and Boundless, they don't have a clue of what they are doing, and they keep killing game modes that some people would maybe find fun. A lot of people ask me every month, even that I have been doing less content, every month people still ask me where are the new Blitz teams, and I told them I would make new Blitz teams if there is any point on making Blitz teams, but every time you attack you don't get any rewards. What's the point at the end of the day? Because of the gameplay? I mean, that's fine, that's of course a point to make, but at the same time there is nothing going on. It's fair, I guess, but again, with overpowered in the game, it makes Blitz less relevant. It's still cool. I still play Blitz more than I play anything else, because it's the only thing you can do when there is nothing to do, right? So, should they repaint different game modes? Yes, they definitely should. All the game modes should have some relevancy in terms of the economy, but at the same time, like you need to know exactly what you want from those game modes. You have to reduce the screen time for sure, but you still cannot kill the game modes like they did with Blitz, like they did with RTA, like they are doing with Arena. If you are killing those game modes, then what's the point? What's really the point of playing the game? And this is what I feel, is that most of the time, the experience I'm having is like no experience, and that's definitely a problem. It's like raids. Raids are pretty much dead as well. Again, you have a little bit of gameplay with Cosmic Crucible, you have a little bit of gameplay of Alliance Wars, but all of that was contaminated with overpowered. And again, if you don't know what you want from each of the game modes after 7 years, I really don't know what you are doing, right? It's very, very concerning to hear something like this from the developers. Let's talk about point number 30, tokens for new players, useful tool, continue using as a meaningful catch-up mechanic. I think this is great for new players, and it reduces the amount of gold and training materials that is necessary, right? So, for example, if you do not upgrade Graviton, they will release a token for you to upgrade him to Gear Tier 16 or Gear Tier 18. That's going to be very helpful, right? You are saving tons of gold, you are saving tons of training materials, and that's great as a catch-up mechanic for new players. And every now and then, giving a bone for veteran players as well, it's not a bad thing for sure. L5 training mods, L4 training mods, game health is in a healthy state, depends if the player is playing or not, so no new changes. So this is very, very concerning, because again, free-to-play players tell me that they still don't have a lot of training materials. Even myself, this looks very low. If I train up like 1 or 2 characters, it will be gone, but again, I admit that I have not been playing the game like I was playing in the past. But at the same time, if you have, I'm not sure what kind of commitment we need to do this. And again, they want to force you to play the game the way they want, while you should play the game the way you want. You want to play raids because it helps your alliance, but because you also want to do it. You could play Blitz and get currency in Blitz that gives you more training materials. Again, there is no reason for them to kill the different game modes. And for free-to-play players, it's still a problem, the training materials, it's still a problem, the gold. And but in their opinion, it's fine. You're just not playing enough, bro. You don't have enough, it's because you're not playing enough. I'm not sure if that's the case. I definitely don't think that's the case. And if those are the numbers, I really want to see you guys let me know in the comments below if that's the case or not, because again, a lot of people have said the opposite. Point number 32, new Eternal characters. Next year, very impactful. So the Eternals are coming to Marvel Strike Force. We are finally going to have a full team of Eternals, and that's going to be a big deal. They are probably going to be an arena team. We already have 5 in the game. so maybe they're going to rework Hyperion sooner than otherwise. But Icarus and Cersei, they were massive arena characters, so maybe that's the new goal. Maybe there will be a new movie or so, but it seems like next year, 2026, we'll have a full Eternals team, even that, once again, we already have 3 in the game, so maybe we'll get another 3, or maybe we'll just get 2, because this guy is pretty solid as well. He's not bad, so we'll see what happens, but I'm excited for that. New Eternals, we'll see. Is it going to be the MCU Eternals, or is it going to be the comic book Eternals? That's something definitely worth considering as well. New features for 2025-2026, new Battle World 3, and they already announced that it's going to be Maestro, which is the best version of Hulk, the strongest version of Hulk, according to certain people. New game modes, and the game going forward, forever franchise, it's their goal. So they want Marvel Strike Force to be around for the next 10 years. And we are already 7 years in, and you don't know what they're doing. You still don't know what is the goal of each of the game modes. So I understand that they want to be a forever franchise or a forever live service game, but you really have to define and you really have to fix the economy, and you really have to push the game forward in different ways of you can monetizing the game, because otherwise, if you keep with this experience, it's not going to be a great experience on the long term, because we see over and over again tons and tons of people quitting the game, and even the new players, they are quitting much faster than other players that have been around for a while. People try the game for 6 months, then they face overpower, then they face other bullshit mechanics, and they quit much faster than the veteran players that have been sitting around. And that's Scopely hates, because this is what Scopely does, is they hate the veterans, because the veterans have expectations of being around for such a long time. So again, having a mentality for a forever franchise, it's a good idea, but not with what you guys are doing right now. So we'll see. Point number 34. We have the size of the dev team. They say the dev team is big, lots of time on research, new content based on that research, possibly new showcases and pocket dimensions. I mean, if all your new research is telling you to do more showcases and pocket dimensions, that's what people have been telling you for years and years. And this research is them trying very predatory mechanics in the game and see how the community reacts. And then they sell that information to other companies. This is something that this type of games do, is doing this type of bullshit events, see the community reactions, see the data and so on, and then they sell that data to other companies to copy the same systems. And maybe that's the biggest way of Marvel Strike Force financing itself, is not to the players' offers that they buy and so on, the players' purchases, is actually the data collected from doing this research on the players. So we'll see. That's definitely some interesting point that they made. But yeah, I don't even know what to think. It's just strange, let's say strange, that they're talking about research on players. Anyway, we have Old Man Logan being a permanent event. This is still something that is not going on. This is the point 36. And it's pretty wild that Old Man Logan was released ages and ages ago, and new players still have to wait for some kind of rotation for this. I mean, if they have kept this system like it was in the past, to have a 3 months or 6 month rotation, that would make sense. But that was something that they ended. So why they keep going on with the Old Man Logan? I understand that is very powerful, but this is definitely something that they should have moved on and make these events permanent, like after 3 months or 6 months, or I don't know how long they are going to do. But once again, we are falling into the situation that characters lose their relevancy faster than they become available for everyone, which is absolutely insane. I don't get it. I don't get the logic behind that. Point number 36, this is actually the one. Blaster and now good is in CC, problems balancing, under delivering and update soon. So Blaster is absolute dog trash character. I saw from the kit right away that the kit was extremely confusing, and a lot of people would have difficulty maxing out the value out of this character. Very, very convoluted character overall, plus requires awakened abilities and so on. And now they are forcing synergies with Thunderstrike, which is terrible. So they are not improving Blastar, they are forcing you to use Thunderstrike with Blastar, and even crippling the gameplay opportunities and the team crafting opportunities because of that, right? If they are not going to rework Blastar and instead forcing you to make Blastar strong when used with Thunderstrike, that's a huge deal, which I'm not sure if people really want to see that. But there you go. It's their choice. Once again, I think it's a very lazy, terrible choice rather than balancing this character. I understand that it would be a lot of work, but I mean, it was not me who failed to deliver, it was you. And once again, if you could create combos, Blastar is stronger with cosmic villains and so on, there you go. You can make the character stronger easily by making someone else stronger as well, rather than just having this force value when sometimes it's not possible to create. Let's move on to the next topic. We have topic 37. We're almost done. We are more than halfway through. What's up with raids? Raid Spotlight. What's the next single player experience and alliance experience? New alliance raid eventually. So this is again very concerning because we just had this new bullshit raid and it's not going anywhere, right? Annihilation raid 2, okay. It feels very strange to play this raid. It's just a straight line. This is like the most boring shit ever. I can't understand. We had a better experience on the Ultimus 6 raids or on the Alpha raids than we had this with this bullshit. It's just a straight line with different teams. You can auto everything anyway, so what's the point? I really don't get it. The raids right now in Marvel Strike Force are a terrible experience. And on top of that, we had the Spotlight raids that they were supposed to be reworked like 2 or 3 months ago, and we have no information on that. So the fact that they are dodging this topic, it's very concerning. Once again, what's up with the raids, Spotlight raids and so on? And maybe they should create some raids that are more single player experience rather than alliance experience. They have some plans to change these, but they have a lot of plans, and this is gonna take like ages and ages to develop. And I guess that's why they want Marvel Strike Force to be a forever experience, right? It's because it's gonna take so long for them to develop this stuff, even that they have a lot of research and a big team of developers. Okay, bro. Whatever you want to say to cope and not scare your investors. Point 38, we have Dark Dimension 9 or something else, more like Dark Dimension 9 than Professor X, because everyone agrees that Professor X overall was a terrible, really, really terrible experience, as it was prescripted teams, prescripted characters and so on, and the experience was overall pretty terrible. They tried to copy the Apocalypse event, but they chose all the worst aspects of the Apocalypse saga and they put it on the Professor X saga, which everyone agrees it was terrible, but we'll see. Definitely they are focusing more on Dark Dimension 9 rather than Professor X, but they need to land Dark Dimension 9 in a good way, because if it is a Dark Dimension 9 like it was Dark Dimension 8, where most of the nodes were irrelevant anyway, that you could one-shot, that's also boring. You want a Dark Dimension like it was Dark Dimension 5 or Dark Dimension 4 or whatever. Something that actually takes a while for you to complete rather than just having the characters available. So having enemies with insane amounts of health or insane amounts of stats, that's okay, that's okay. We want that journey. At least most people will want that journey, not just unlocking the character and wait 6 months just to gear up the characters. I think that's the worst part of this type of experiences. Battle World damage, remove the damage cap. No, because it helps us not testing things. Yeah, so they actually said this. They actually said that the damage cap helps to avoid bugs. So that's why they don't remove the damage cap. It's because, yeah, they're lazy and they don't want to test the different tier crafting teams that we create. Like, for example, that Bleed team, that was absolutely awesome. That was actually fun to play with that Bleed team against Null. but they want to keep that damage cap because once again, damage cap, time limit, and so on. Because once again, it helps them to avoid the bugs and to avoid lockout situations that even if you cannot test them, you can fix them eventually. But because they don't want to waste time fixing stuff, they rather just have these limitations, and it is what it is, right? So that's definitely concerning. DuArktik update, no. Alliance donations maybe next year will be updated. So DuArktik is a very old feature that we have in the game. I'm not even sure how to access it anymore. So we have right here DuArktik. This is like flat stats that you could give to your characters, but this is based on your alliance. Actually, they should absolutely remove this bullshit because it's pointless. And if you're a new player or if you're a new alliance, this is something that is gonna hold you back. And once again, it makes no sense on the current game to have something like this. So they should just remove this whole thing and moving forward with something completely different, right? You don't even get DuArktik anymore here, so I'm not even sure what's the point anyway. So we'll see what they are going to do with it in the near future. But right now it's something that it's hurting new players because once again you can no longer get a DuArktik and it's not doing anything anyway. So we'll see what's the point and what's going to be the update in the future. Mr. Sinister updates. No Mr. Sinister updates. They say they hate Mr. Sinister because he creates so many problems for the developers in terms of balance and in terms of fixing bugs. So once again, the laziness is showing, the fact that they are holding back on such an iconic character just because they don't want to deal with the bugs and so on. It's scary. Can we even find this guy? Mr. Sinister, there we go. The most problematic character in Marvel Strike Force. They are not going to update this character. We have no future improvements for this guy. Even that they are using the clone mechanic for the danger room and so on. So I really don't understand what's the deal. It's because of his stats. Maybe that's the case. But yeah, they really have blacklisted this guy and they don't want to fix him in the future. Event challenges, no, we prefer new content. The event challenges, I understand it's something that you do one time and then it's done. It's understandable, but either way, it was a new experience whenever we had new challenges, but the challenges have to be relevant. This was actually a big deal when you'd figured out how to beat these challenges in the past. It was actually content, it was actually stuff that people would talk about. And nowadays, because it's like so easy, it's irrelevant, right? So again, it's all based on what the developers do. If they make this very, very difficult, it will be content. It will be something that people have to strive for, while in this way, when everything is too easy, of course everything is pointless, and that's with everything in life. Okay, so point number 43, we have players feedback on kits doesn't always help, and carefully not making up too overpowered. So this player feedback on kits is something that they try to do with the envoys, and especially in terms of the Cosmic Crucible rooms, and it was like an absolute mess. They had this room from the Seer or whatever is his name that was always creating problems. So they want to stay away from this as much as possible. Even that, sure, they want the community to be engaged on the development, choosing which characters is coming to the game or not. They don't want to mess too much in regards to the kits. So probably we'll not see much of this in the future. Let's move on to the next topic. We have topic number 44. Zombie Kestrel, not MSF original tag. When will we have new original MSF characters? Need mommy Marvel to approve and needs to make sense. So they have plans for upcoming original MSF characters like Kestrel, like Deathpool, like whatever was the other bullshit character they made. Spider-Weaver. Spider-Weaver was cool, but I'm talking about Val, right? The transgender bullshit character that was supposed to be a villain, but then it was not a villain because it was homophobic, so they made her a hero, and it's the biggest bullshit satanic character that they ever made to the character. Again, They say they have plans for that, but it has to make context in terms of propaganda that Marvel is pushing. So you have to see it and take a while until you see the next black, transgender, disabled, wheelchair-driven, bald, with implants on his nose character that has all kinds of unlimited powers because it was kissed by the whatever character, right? It has to make sense in terms of which propaganda Marvel is pushing and if it makes sense for the whole universe of Marvel and so on. So yeah, they have plans for that, but in the future. Marvel going multiverse, maybe nothing specific. So I mean, Marvel or MSF is already multiversal, right? We already have Ultimus from different universes and Doctor Dooms and so on. Maybe they forgot about that, but that was part of their storytelling in different events. So I'm actually surprised that they didn't reference with that. Or I'm not sure if they are mentioning something else, like for example, Alien, having crossovers with different IPs that are within the umbrella of Marvel, right? Alien, it's his own IP, but it's indirectly related with Marvel, if you guys search about it. So maybe that's the context they are talking about. It's not super specific, but they didn't get any answer, so whatever. Arena changes, updates, matchmaking, but not a priority. So in terms of Arena, this is another game mode that they have been trying to kill as much as possible. They don't want people to get power cores. They don't want people to participate. You don't have to participate. No one is participating in Arena. Whenever there is a new team or whatever, it becomes like relevant for like 1 week or so, but then it's boring as well. So yeah, Arena is not going anywhere. It's probably going to be the same. Maybe updates on the matchmaking. Maybe they will fix the catapult after 7 years. Maybe not, because it's part of the experience. It's part of the fun, getting catapulted from rank 1 to rank 17. It's just part of the experience, bro. Why are you complaining about that? Moving on to the next topic, we have more gear T20 soon. Yes, but just slightly. So we're going to get a little bit more gear as they introduce the Purple Isolate level 5, but it's not going to be anything like too crazy. So don't expect too much and we'll see. New promo code October Live. There you go, that's the promo code they had, probably already expired because now they have these promo codes that last for like 24 hours and then it's gone, which is absolutely insane. Merchandise in the store, apparel, etc. No direct answer. This is something that I never understood about Marvel Strike Force, is why they don't have their own apparel. They have their own design for characters, they have their own different things, they have their own illustrations. I understand that Marvel is the thing that controls the apparel and so on, but you just have to pay a royalty to Marvel. I'm sure you can license that because you have your own art. You have to pay a little bit to the artist, you have to pay a little bit to the company, and you sell your apparel. I'm not sure why this is not a thing in Marvel Strike Force for years, but it's something that a lot of players would buy if it existed. But again, they don't know how to monetize the game, I guess. I'm not sure what's the point. Then we have Battle World, once again, number 3, where they fully tell us about Maestro. It's coming. Hulk updates as well, so the OG Hulk, high affinity character, once again with a high chance of being reworked in the near future. Maybe we'll have a new updated model that makes him look less goofy. But yes, this new Maestro team and so on might also bring some updates for Hulk in 2026. We'll see. And the last topic from this live stream was seasonal rewards costumes. 2099 team coming in 2026. So again, we have this reference of the costumes. They already said that they want the costumes to give stats, which is definitely something new coming to Marvel Strike Force. And on top of that, we have a 2099 team coming to the game. Now, this is cool because we could have Spider-Man 2099, we could have X-Men 2099, Ghost Rider, Punisher, Doctor Doom 2099, Hulk 2099. That would be insane. There are a lot of options out there, and the designs of the characters are pretty wild. And again, for that demographic that has been around Marvel for a while, if you are 35 up to 60 maybe, you might relate with these comics that were very, very popular back in the day, the 2099 comics. But this is all we have for this live stream. Once again, we covered 51 topics that I mentioned and our feedback in regards to those 51 topics. Again, I think there are a lot of things that they need to create pillars and not remove value out of those pillars in regards to Marvel Strike Force, whether it is on the high affinity characters, whether it is on how fast teams recycle, whether it is on the relevancy of game modes. And if you want us to play the game the way we want, or if you want to force us to play the game that you want us to play, that matches your numbers on a spreadsheet, and at the end of the day keeps pushing players away from Marvel Strike Force and so on. But we'll see what the future brings. This is going to be the video for today. It's my Mother's Day. I'm going to call her and tell her happy birthday. You guys let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed this video. Once again, I'm telling you that it's the last chance for you to obtain the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for free in Retro Legends. So once again, if you are interested, just create an account and try the game later on, because that bonus will still be relevant if you activate it today. So that's going to be the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you smash that like button like a boss. And as always, if you find information on this video is helpful, make sure you share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe for more Marvel Strike Force content. And I'll catch you guys later.